painting your canvas. And one of the things that I wrote about on Blackboard there was, if you only have white cardstock, it's not a problem because you can paint your cardstock. So when I'm painting paper, and then it's archival and it will last. I usually use the least expensive paint that I can find, and what I have available right here, and I'm using a roller to paint my paper and my gesso and my things like that. And here is some a nice blue tint gray. And it doesn't matter if I have a little bit of color from an earlier color in my roller. What matters is that I roll it out and get it as even as possible. So if you don't have a roller, I'm going to do it again in a second with a brush and show you the difference between the surface. Now the nice thing about painting your cardstock and your paper is that you can now collage with this paper that it's painted, and it will be the same as if you are painting on a canvas or painting on a painting. So I can cut it into my shapes and my stripes and actually use it on a canvas, which I will demonstrate as well for my painting folks. So there's a nice mid-tone gray. So if I was going to do the same way on my canvas, and I have a lot of little canvases that I'm going to be demonstrating with today to make kind of a totem image that is stacked with a series of them. Alright, so how simple that was. That's a 4-inch square canvas. Alright, so if I'm going to change to white, and if you've got white gesso and you need to paint your boards, this is a really easy way to do it. So here is my white gesso. Move this off, this down here. Leaving my papers to dry. I've done a really pretty gold one here. And here is a piece of HDF board. You can buy this by an 8-foot piece and have it cut up at Home Depot. And when I'm this one, I see I've had it on the side and it's a little bowed. That's definitely an issue. Ooh, I can't get that one open. Let's try this one. Alright, so if I wanted this to be pink or lilac or purple or any undertone like that, I could just go ahead and squirt a little bit of the acrylic right into the paint. This roller has a touch of gray in it. So as I'm pushing this out, this is going to have a really off-white warm tone to it. It's not going to be quite as cool as white would be. Now a little roller like this you can buy at, if you really want one, at Michael's or Home Depot. They have little ones at Home Depot as well. So if you're out and you see one really expensive, if you go into Michael's or Lowe's, or excuse me, or Hobby Lobby with a 40% off, and this is the thing you're buying, you could get it for just about $2, which is make your life a little bit easier with this. Or you can add it on to a list of things. And there's my nice white. So if I was painting this with a brush, which I'm going to do in a minute, I could probably spend 10 minutes painting this board, and I've spent 3 or 4. With a roller. So it's a nice thing to have and be able to do. Okay, one other thing you can do besides this, if you have a canvas or a board and you painted and painted and painted and you don't like it, it is just not working, and you're ready to start over on it. You don't want to throw the canvas away, but you do not like it the way that it is. And I have a piece that I've worked and worked and worked, and it looks overworked. So I decided I just need to paint it again, start over on my mouse, work on the lights one more time. So there is my gesso, and no one will ever know except for you all that particular canvas, and especially since this is gesso that I'm putting on here, that will cover and it will make it last, and the underneath cover. So if you've painted and painted and you painted and you said, well, I can do better, I wish I could just start over, maybe start over before you're 6 or 7 hours into the painting, and start fresh and draw on it and come up with your new painting before that happens. Alright, so he's gone, and I don't have to remember how frustrated and mad he was making me. Alright, so I said I'd do one with a brush. I've got all kinds of papers here in just a short period of time. Stick my roller in the water. When I'm going to use a brush, I use a nice big brush so I can go fast, as fast as possible. And the kind of brush strokes that work best for big backgrounds and smooth is an X, and it's a blending stroke. So you just make an X as you're putting it on, and it will cover it all. Use your biggest brush that you got. If you got the set, then you should have some nice big brushes. And this is for people who are doing acrylic and not watercolor. You will use the gesso underneath your oil. If you are painting with oil, you want to gesso your board. Rather than use house paint, you want to make sure that it is acrylic gesso.